folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to Let's Play Dungeon Siege. When I first bought this game, boy, the early 2000s it came out, I always thought it was so cool to watch all these gears turning and bringing all the mechanisms down for your options. Anyway, this is not only a brand new Let's Play, this is the official first Let's Play for the Noble Rambler YouTube gaming channel. And there are a lot of games to choose from, but I got to thinking, this one game here, I don't know how many times I played through Dungeon Siege over the years. I haven't played it actually in about, 7 or 8 years now, maybe 10 years, but when I first got to the end of the game, I just turned right around and started over again. It was so much fun. And it felt like such an open world scenario. I mean, the map is just huge. It isn't actually an open world game. It's pretty linear. You're pretty well stuck on a very specific track through. I wish I could pull the map up right now and show you, but it took so long to get through it, and a couple hours a night, after work to mess around with it. It felt like it took months to get through it. It just felt like it was such a huge world that this opens up for you. Let's see, we'll start a new game. Not a lot of choices in character creation back then. You basically had your Mr. T look and your Brad Pitt look. So, although the hair changes does allow for a little more option there. And shirt and pants didn't really matter what you chose, because within no time you're going to be wearing armor and a helmet, and you wouldn't see any of this. So we'll just go with that. I'm going to go with the name Sir Noby, and that's already typed in there because I can't tell you how many times I have recorded this episode. Fraps does not play well with Dungeon Siege. It works well in Windows 7. I've never had problems running the game. But when you introduce Fraps into it trying to record the game, it crashes every cutscene. So there may be times when my sentences will be clipped off and suddenly I've had to splice video back together again, and we'll just see how this goes. So Sir Noby is going to attack this thing at the hard level. I used to run through this on normal all the time, and it was quite enjoyable at that point, but it did get a bit monotonous. I was always winning. It was fairly easy once you got used to the game. So we're going to go through this on hard, and as soon as I click this, I know that the game is going to crash. So I'm going to put a little pause right here, and we'll be right back.
A long time ago, on the continent of Orana, the once magnificent empire of stars had crumbled into oblivion. Paralyzed by its own power-hungry legions, and torn asunder by an ancient and merciless evil. But the 10th Legion, the dying empire's most valiant soldiers and most trusted, withdrew far to the west, to a land called Ebb, seeking to preserve what their empire had lost. Here, in the rugged mountains and rich valleys of their new home, they founded the Kingdom of Ebb, a kingdom that has embraced peace and freedom for 300 years. But there was a price. Few now remember the evil that opposed them. Fewer still recall the dark sorceries cast to save them.
There I am.
And none could foretell that one humble farmer would stand between a vengeance from the past and the survival of the kingdom.
Ah, old Norik is coming to visit.
The Krug are attacking. I couldn't hold them back. You have long been my friend, but you can do nothing more for old Norik. Go to Stonebridge. find Giorn. If the Krug have elsewhere betrayed us, your bravery will be needed by the king. Go now.
That was quite a dramatic death scene. Good acting. Okay, so that is a Krug. That's one of our first enemies. We're going to head back over here into a kind of a safe zone and deal with things like the tips that come up. So no more tips. Flashing here is our journal. Tells us what just happened and reminds us we're heading to go to Stonebridge to find Gjorn. And if we needed to relive the experience, we can
The Krug! Hurt!
listen to it all over again. The hardest part about getting into a game like this today is not using the WASD buttons to move around. This is entirely mouse driven. So everything is capable of being run by the mouse. There are some hotkeys. You want to go pick up every item in the area, you hit Z, and he runs over and grabs everything. 1, 2, 3, 4 will activate your 4 different kinds of attack. And Tab will show you the map of everything you've seen so far. And it'll show it to you real time. You can zoom in on it. You see the chickens moving around. There's the bridge. You might see a Krug moving around in view here once in a while. So the mini-map is actually real time, which is really convenient. You can even play the game from a top-down point of view from here, giving orders to run over here and what have you. Doors highlight, give a click, they'll open, elevate up, you can look inside, click on the floor, he walks in. Scroll your mouse to zoom in and out. So I think it was one of the first games that fully utilizes the mouse, utilized the mouse for all the control of the game. Works well. It's easy to move around, touch the sides of the screens to pivot. Though I will say using the WASD is better than this, but this worked well for the time. So, I know there's nothing to do in here, so basically this is just like a safe zone to kind of get used to the game. Let's go in and take out our first enemy. We're going to use our little, it's not much more than a butter knife. Let's look at that real quick. Click on your face, you can see the inventory that you're carrying. We're carrying a hoe, which has damage of 1. This knife has a damage of 2 to 4. We're wearing boots that have no defense. We're not wearing any armor or helmet. We do not have a bow, or gloves, or a shield. We have slots for rings that have different powers. You got slots for an amulet. You've got a spell book. You drop your spells in over here. And our gold. Alright, let's see. Also, our melee, range, nature, and combat magics. The levels are here. As we use the knife, we're going to see 0.00 increase by, I think it's 0.03 each time we actually make a successful hit. So your weapon skills will increase. So there's 3 hits, and we've got, well, it must have been 2 successful hits. 0.06. Ah, they're coming to us. Now we are playing on hard, so we do have to watch our health score here. Make sure that they don't overwhelm us. Okay, so Z will pick everything up. Let's go and break these barrels. See if anything's hiding in them. Nothing. Okay. No more bad guys in our immediate vicinity. Let's see what we picked up. One of the Krug was using a cudgel, just damage of 3 to 5, so that's better than what we've got right now. So we'll go ahead and grab that weapon for the moment. Charged Fist. Nature magic. Requires magic level 1. So that's where we get into here. As we use our melee and we hit level 1 or 5 or level 10, certain weapons will not be able to be used until we've hit certain levels in our skill. So we've got an example of a spell that can only be used after we have practice with this guy, which will get us up to our level 1. I don't tend to use magic much, not only in this game but in any game. I'll use basic stuff to heal with, but beyond that I don't do a lot with it. This game does have a couple of very low level spells that are convenient to have later, for which you would need to have at least level 1 in each of these. So I'll use these two until I work my way up to level 1. And then I'll probably set them aside and just use ranged and melee. I'm more of a shoot them from a distance or hit them upside the head kind of player, not draw lightning from the sky and direct it at an enemy. So anyway, we've got a hoe here, which I know is not going to do us any good. And the knife actually isn't either, so I'm going to leave these behind. What we're going to find is before we ever get to a place where we can use the stuff that we're storing, we're going to run out of room fast. So we'll get rid of the low level items right at the beginning. Alright, so we last picked up the fire shot. 1, 2, 3, 4 changes which weapon we want to use. So we're going to go in with a ranged weapon. We'll go ahead and use a fire shot to start with. Start getting these guys leveled up while we're against easy characters. You don't want to use these level 0 spells against something more serious later on. So we'll get those charged up now and then set them aside. So this shoots fire at him. That's what that spell does. Nothing back over here. I hear ya. There you are. Okay, another cudgel. I'll leave it behind. I'll just end up dropping it again later. Right over here. Alrighty, are we done up here? I think so. Although I did want to go back here. By today's standards, this water isn't all that impressive, but back then, this was pretty impressive. I really liked the way the trees moved around all independently of themselves. This was high-end graphics back then. It really was. Nowadays it's like looking at a photograph that graphics are so impressive. But back then, if you've played many of the games from the 1990s, this was pretty good stuff. Alright, we've got a couple of potions that are going to help us, so I'm going to grab just this and this manually so we don't go around and pick up everything else. Okay, we're going to get a game save, and we're going to dive into the rest of our map. Here's where the game formally... Oh, hello. Let's back up over here a little bit. A little more distance. If you hit X, it shows your health and mana on your character. That's a good thing to have, especially when you're playing at the hardest difficulty and you need a little warning that you're about to die. So we've got this guy over here who's going to shoot like acid at us, I'm guessing. He's going to vomit something at us that's damaging, so I'll off to the side. Oh, it got me. It got me again. Reflexes are too slow. Okay. What do we got here? We got a... Hello. Giant mosquito. One more. One thing I noticed though, the fire shot does tend to be very accurate. You shoot with your bow. R.I.P. mana. Rip mana. What is that? Another spell that pulls, tears 10 mana from the enemy and gives it to the caster. That's interesting. Not something I'm going to use, but Eventually we may have a magician in our party, so I'll save all these for him. We've got a peasant short bow. That's what we're using already. Alright. Mana and health. M, H. So the M and the H keys will fire those off while you're busy mid-battle trying to survive. So a finger on the space bar for pause and a finger on the H key for health is probably about all that's needed to get through this game. The mouse does pretty much everything else. Another tactic that's important when things get a little crazy is deposit. Tell them what you want to do and then send it in. If you're busy trying to click on him and you end up missing and end up clicking over here instead of shooting him, he's trying to get to that place. If you pause it, then you're sure to actually aim it or hit what you're aiming. Fast runner. Yeah, we'll take you out. And of course, you want to take out the one with the least amount of life left, so you can eliminate his turn, his chance at throwing an attack at you. But in this case, this guy is the more imminent danger. Yeah, one more time. Out of range. Okay. Oh, we did complete that one. That's what that symbol was. We just hit level 1 of combat magic. So let's switch over to nature magic and get that leveled up. Then we can turn off the magic for a while and come on over here, take him out. Now this does very little damage. We're gonna take a lot of damage trying to level up in this. So let's save that for another time. We'll go over to melee. And we are low on health. Back over here, drink a health potion. There you go. Take him out. Alright, tattered leather. We have no armor at the moment. Grab this, it automatically equips it. Now we have a defense of 3. So all of the items are going to give you their potential damage or their potential armor. And as your skills, not only your strength, dexterity, and intelligence, but as you're leveling up your skills, all that's going to come into account to combine and to create your overall melee damage, range damage, and armor rating. So, very similar mechanics to something like Dungeons and Dragons. One dagger is what? Does 2 to 5. We're doing 3 to 5 here, so we'll hang on to this. But also notice it's 3 to 5 fast attack. It's also fast attack. So here's a peasant short bow that does a normal attack. So you've got fast, normal, and slow, I believe. So your bigger weapons that do more damage are going to be normal or slow speed, whereas your smaller ones that do less damage are capable of being swung faster. So I believe our total amount of damage takes that into account as well. So if you're not sure which one is better, you simply equip it and see how your melee changes. So I don't think it will give me this overall score when I pass over anything. I think you've got to actually equip it. So 5 to 9 becomes 4 to 9. Because this was a 2 to 5, that was a 3 to 5. Alright. I wish I remember which key it was to drop out. Oh, it was inventory. I. Okay, so I does that. We have tatters, which was a defense of 1. We're going to skip that because we'll just end up throwing it on the ground later. Now, we have obviously the road through here, but we have so much more map hiding beyond the road. If we head over here off the road, we'll see it goes off into the distance quite a bit. In here. So once in a while you'll find treasure chests, you'll find certainly more enemies. And in this case, it is actually a good thing to find more enemies, because as you're fighting, you are leveling up. So you're becoming more proficient in your melee weapons and your melee skills by going through as many battles as you can. Just try to haste them so you can regain your health in time. Yeah, 3 to 1. We're not leveled up enough where we can take that on. Alright, pause. Ranged. Let's line up this attack. Take him out. Now the fire shot hit almost every time. The bow is actually quite inaccurate. Alright, let's take him. Alright, get over here and get a break. Grab a drink of health potion. Dive back in. Watching the red bar. Here's red bar too. Whoa, we are actually... Whoa! Let's do this again. We're not going to give up that easy. Next episode, I'm going to start one more time. Hard is actually harder than I thought. I've been through this game so many times that I just take it for granted that it's just something you can breeze through. But hard does take down your health quite quickly in what was really a simple little battle. So we're going to do this again next episode. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.